1.
I'm 16, so I've got my GCSE exams next month, and I'm doing 8 subjects. The subject I like best at school is geography, and my least favourite subject is English language. I'd like to drop it and do business studies instead. That'd be great, but I'll have to wait until next year when I start my A-levels. I'm not a very competitive kind of person, and I suppose I'm good at working in teams, doing group project work and that sort of thing. But I'm not so good at passing exams. Outside class, I do basketball. It's great fun. And I belong to the cadets too. It's like a club for young people to do army-style training. We do lots of outdoor things like going on expeditions and learning how to survive in the forest. It'd be great to do climbing. There's a club at the school for older students, but my parents don't like the idea. Maybe when I'm a bit older.
2.
I've got another year at school, so I'm studying for my A-levels at the moment. My subjects are English literature, history and politics, but I'm also doing some extra classes in ICT. The subject I like best is English. I've always loved reading and writing and poetry. My least favourite subject is ICT. I'd like to drop it and do Spanish instead, but I know ICT's really useful for jobs. At school, I suppose I'm quite good at memorising and analysing information, but I'm not so good at presenting work neatly. I'm really untidy. Outside class, I write articles for the school magazine and I'm in the film club too. We watch films and we're making a short film at the moment. It'd be cool to learn more about painting. I do it at home in my spare time, but I'd love to learn different techniques and things.
3.
I've got my A-level exams next month. I'm doing 4 subjects: maths, physics, chemistry and ICT. I suppose my favourite subject is ICT because I'm really into everything to do with computers. My friends say I'm a bit of a geek. The subject I least like is physics. I'd like to drop it and do biology instead, but it's much too late now. I suppose I'm quite good at solving problems and remembering numbers, but I'm not so good at concentrating in class. I get a bit bored, you know. Outside school, I do chess and I'm in the debating club. I quite like arguing and I'm quite good at it. The debating club's really cool. It'd be great to learn more about astronomy because I've been interested in space since I was a kid and I got a telescope for my last birthday.
Hey, Polly.
Yeah?
So, what sort of high school do you go to?
A secondary school. It's called a comprehensive school over here.
Comprehensive?
Yes. It's a large secondary school in West London with over 1,000 students. It's a state school.
You mean a public school? Run by the government?
That's right. It's not private. So what's your school like?
It's a big high school in New York that specializes in science.
Science?
Yeah. It's got great facilities for science, with awesome science labs.
Lucky you.
And we've got high-speed internet access in the classroom and online materials.
Well, we've got computers and projectors in all the classrooms and Wi-Fi everywhere, though it's a bit slow in some places. We've got a good library and the sports hall is okay too.
Yeah? We've got an amazing library too. And because we're a science school, we do research projects. They're really interesting. And there are lots of extra activities like sports and debating. I'm in the fashion club. We design clothes and make them.
Yeah? That sounds great. Our school's not that bad, and we have activities after school too. I'm in the debating club. It's okay. So, what's the atmosphere like in your school? Is it like in the films?
No, it's not like High School Musical. but it's really relaxed and laid back.
That's good. Mine's a bit competitive.
Yeah, most people are really nice, though some of the teachers are real strict. But 3 years ago, I was at another high school. It was terrible. There was graffiti on the walls, and we had security guards with guns.
Guns? Wow.
Well, it was in a difficult neighborhood.
At our school, there are fights occasionally, and there's a bit of bullying, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you get that in the States, too. Especially at middle school.
My school's okay now I'm in the 6th form, but I didn't like it when I was younger. But at our school, we still have to wear a sort of uniform in 6th form. I really don't like that.
You wear a uniform?
Yup.
We can wear our own clothes, but there are lots of rules. We can't wear hats or hoods or more than one bit of jewelry. I think that's a silly rule.
I'm looking forward to finishing school and going to university.
Me too. I can't wait to get to college. I'm gonna study.
1,
Excuse me, Miss Roberts. Could I possibly have a word with you, please?
I'm sorry, but I'm busy.
It won't take a minute, miss.
What is it?
It's just that I won't be able to finish my homework for tomorrow. You see, I've had lots of extra football practice for the match on Saturday. You know, for the school team. It's an important game. The cup final.
I don't know anything about it.
Really? Everybody's talking about it, miss.
I've been busy with other things.
Are you going to Paris, miss?
What? Yes, I am. Next weekend. I've never been there before.
I've got the best ever guidebook to Paris.
Really?
Yeah, it tells you everything you need to know. The best hotels, the best restaurants, the best shops. It's amazing. Would you like to borrow it?
Oh, yes, I'd love to.
If I bring you the guidebook on Monday, is it okay if I take a bit longer on my homework?
How much longer?
Would it be all right if I hand it in a week late? You know, when you get back from your holiday in Paris.
Yes, you can do that.
Great. I'm sorry, but I really must be going. I've got football practice again.
Goodbye, Jamie. See you on Monday. And good luck in the match.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Two,
Hi, Katie. Hey, Katie. I want to speak to you.
What, Jamie? I'm in a real hurry.
Can I borrow your guidebook of Paris? The one you lent me last summer?
Sorry, Jamie, I'm really busy. Can't you buy one?
Oh, come on, Katie. Can't I come round and pick it up? I can come on Saturday evening, early.
We'll all be out. Sorry, Jamie.
Well, what about Sunday? Sunday morning.
Oh, all right. At about 10. Look, I've really got to go. I've got my dance class in 5 minutes.
OK, thanks, Katie. By the way, are you coming to the match on Saturday?
Maybe, if I've got time. See you.
Right. See you on Sunday at 10. Don't forget.
I won't. Bye. See you, Jamie.
Hi, Anna. I haven't seen you for some time. Where have you been?
Didn't I tell you? My class went on a school trip to France last month. I've been practicing my French a lot, so I hope I'm going to pass the next exam we have.
Lucky you. My school isn't organising anything this year, but we'll definitely go on an exchange programme to Greece next year. That's what my teacher told us anyway. So how was the trip?
It was pretty good. We all stayed with a different French family, with a girl or boy the same age as us. And we went to their school, or did different activities with the class and the family at weekends.
Sounds great. What was the family like?
They were really friendly, and the girl my age, Chantal, was pretty cool. She likes the same kind of music and clothes as me, so we just shared our stuff while I was there. At first, I felt a bit shy and embarrassed because my French wasn't that good, and I found it difficult to communicate with everyone. But I soon got better at speaking it, and everything became easier.
That's normal, isn't it? It's great you had to speak and listen all the time. My teacher says that's the best way to learn a language. So, did you visit any nice places or do anything interesting?
We did. One weekend, I went skiing with my host family and Chantal. I've never been skiing before, so it was quite hard. But by Sunday, I could get up every time I fell over and start again. Oh, and we went to Paris, of course. It's such a beautiful city, but it's got so much to see. It's almost too amazing. We needed to stay for 3 days to really see everything, but we only had a Saturday and Sunday.
Wow, it all sounds fantastic. So you didn't miss home then?
Well, it wasn't easy to adapt to the food and eating times there. They eat later in the day than we do, and I was really hungry sometimes, especially at 12, when we normally have lunch. And I miss my little sister, and all my friends, like you, of course.
Yeah, right. Well, I hope we get a school trip now I know about yours.
With news of record-breaking exam results, but also problems with failing schools, we're here on the streets of London to ask, what makes a good school? Sir, can I ask you, what makes a good school?
I'm retired now, but boarding school certainly worked for me. It taught me to be independent. There's too much talk of feelings and looking after pupils in school nowadays.
OK, thanks for that. Excuse me, madam. We're asking people what they think makes a good school.
For me, it's discipline. I'm glad I went to school in Ghana because everyone paid attention in class and respected the teacher. Here, schools need more teachers who are good at controlling the class because the kids think they know it all.
I'm sure many of our viewers will share that opinion. Thank you. A couple of teenagers. Can I ask you a very relevant question? What makes a good school?
Sure. Well, I think it's all down to the teachers. Good teachers can be an inspiration to their class and encourage them to do well. And if they make the classes lively and interesting, then most of the students will pay attention.
How about you?
Well, I don't actually go to school.
What do you mean? You skip classes every day?
No, nothing like that. I'm home educated. My mum and dad are my tutors, and I study at home.
That's very unusual. Do you mind if I ask why?
No, it's fine. I went to the local school for 2 years, but the teachers didn't push us much, and I got bored. So my mum and dad decided to teach me themselves. It's kind of cool. I can plan my own learning, but I still have to take exams.
Interesting experiences there. Thank you both.
Sure.
No problem.
Let's get another opinion. Sir, would you mind if I asked you a question about education? What makes a good school?
Well, I went to a Montessori school in Holland.
A Montessori school? Can you explain what that means?
Of course. Maria Montessori was an Italian woman who developed an approach to educate the whole child, rather than just giving information. The teachers see each child in the class as an individual and encourage learning in lots of different ways, inside and outside the classroom.
Sounds interesting. Thanks for that. Let's see what this lady thinks. Excuse me, can I ask you a question on education? What do you think makes a good school?
I'm glad you asked me that. I'm a head teacher of a school here in London.
Well, you're the person to ask.
You could say that. Well, schools are only really as good as their students. If students have a positive attitude, then they will learn. Of course, the teacher can give encouragement and try to inspire the class, but if a child won't cooperate, then there's little we can do. Parents, too, need to support and motivate their children. There should be a partnership between the school, the child, and the parents.
So it's all about cooperation between teachers and families. Thank you for that. If you have any views on what you've just heard, contact our message board and have your say. Now it's back to the studio.
Wow, it's busy today.
I know.
It's crazy. I was supposed to take a break an hour ago.
Yeah, I'm going back after I've had this coffee.
Okay. Are you going to the thing for Holly's birthday later?
No, I can't. I have a class.
Oh, yeah? What are you studying?
It's a counselling course for speech therapists.
Oh, right. What does that involve?
Well, you learn basic counselling skills. You know how to listen and guide people through problems. But it's focused on the kinds of psychological problems people have when they have a difficulty with speaking.
And how come you're doing that?
Well, I did speech therapy at college and, that's still what I want to do.
Oh, right.
So, it'll be good for my CV.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, how's it going? Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's good. It's very practical. I mean, we have some lectures and seminars which are about theory, but most of the time we just practice with each other and a tutor observes us and gives feedback.
So, what about the tutors? What are they like?
Great. They're all very experienced and knowledgeable, but they present things in a very clear way. They're like on our level. They're really good, actually.
It sounds it. And what are the other students like? Do you get on with them okay?
Yeah, mostly.
Mostly?
Well, there are one or two guys that aren't as supportive as everyone else. Like when we do the feedback after the practice sessions, they can be a bit more critical than the others, which is a bit annoying.
I can imagine. You want encouragement, not criticism.
Exactly.
So, how long does the course last? When do you finish?
I think there are 11 weeks left. It's a 6-month course, an evening a week.
Do you have any coursework on top of that? I mean, is it assessed?
Not exactly. You just get a certificate for completing the course.
And to get that?
You have to attend 80% of the classes and do an assignment, which is basically a kind of diary of our counselling sessions. Nothing too demanding.
OK. So you don't have to do much reading?
There's a bit connected to the seminars, and you could do more, but I don't have time on top of my workload here.
I bet. So what are you going to do when it ends?
Well, I might actually do another course once I finish this one.
Wow, you're keen.
Maybe. But as soon as I find a proper job, I'll probably stop doing any studying.
Sure.
I better get back.
OK.
1. How's the class?
Awful. They just don't pay attention. If I try to explain something, they sit whispering to each other. It's so rude. And then there's one boy who always walks in 20 minutes late. He doesn't apologise. He just puts his mobile on the table, takes off his iPod and his Armani sunglasses, and then he sits there looking bored because he thinks he knows it all. He's got no pen, no paper, nothing. It's really annoying.
I think you need to set some rules. If they talk, send them to the head teacher or give them a detention.
Maybe. I don't want to be too strict.
But you have to be. If you're strict from the start, you'll gain their respect. Obviously, you need to be fair as well. 2.
Are you OK? You look a bit fed up.
I've just got the results of my English test.
Oh dear. What did you get?
A 6. And I needed a 6.5 to do a master's.
Oh no. I'm sorry. But you worked so hard. I was sure you'd get at least a 7.
I know. I was so stupid. I misread one of the questions. That probably lowered my score.
Oh dear. So, what are you going to do now?
It depends. I'm going to ring the course leader and see if they'll accept me with a 6. If they don't accept me on the course, I'll either retake the test or I might look for another master's.
3.
Right, there are a number of things I need to tell you about assessment. Firstly, 50% of your final marks are based on your essays during the course. Because of that, we're very strict on deadlines. If you miss a deadline that your tutor has set, you will be given a 0. No arguments. Secondly, yes?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but what if you have a family crisis or something?
Well, obviously we'll make an exception for certain cases if a close family member is affected. Also, we won't accept any excuses to do with illness unless you produce a doctor's certificate within 2 days of the deadline. Does that answer your question? Good. I should say, while we're on the subject, that if you have any problems which are affecting your coursework, you should contact the Student Counselling Service. Their number is
4. So, how's Angela doing at a new school?
Oh, much better, thanks. I'm so glad we decided to move her to St. James's. The teachers seem a lot better prepared, and they push the kids. I think Angela was just a bit bored at her last school.
Well, she's a bright kid.
And that other school was quite rough. I was always hearing about fights in the playground, and lots of kids there skip classes on a fairly regular basis as well.
Well, St. James's has a very good reputation.
Yes, discipline is very good there, and I think they look so much smarter in a uniform.
OK, let's begin. Welcome to the Faculty of Education. My name is Peter Beach. We all hope that you will have a great time here and learn a lot too, of course. OK, first, some important information about people. As I said, I'm Peter Beach. I'm the Dean of Education, and that means I'm responsible for this faculty, the Faculty of Education. The bursar is Mrs. Pierce. She deals with all the money, so she is a very important person. This is Mrs. Pinner. She's the head of Year 1, and she's responsible for the schedule. After this meeting, Mrs. Pinner is going to talk to you about your schedule for the first semester. The accommodation manager, that's Mr. Heal. He's in charge of the halls of residence on the campus. And finally, Mr. Ben Hill looks after the resource centre. Ben will help you find the information you need. OK, well, that's it from me for the moment. I forgot. One more very important person, Mr. Mills. He helps international students if they have any problems. OK, well, I'll talk to you again later in Freshers' Week. Now I'll hand over to Mrs. Pinner.
Thank you, Mr. Beach. Right. You need some information about the campus, the university buildings. Firstly, the library is near the main entrance. Next to the library, there is the resource centre. Resources are things to help you with studying. Ben will help you find the information you need. You can do internet research in the resource centre. The administration block is opposite the library. Go there if you have a problem with fees. That means the money for your course. Behind the admin block is the welfare office. Go there if you have any other problems. You'll also find the medical centre behind the admin block. OK. Next to the admin block is the JCR and the SCR. That is the junior common room and the senior common room. The common rooms are for the staff, the lecturers. Then on the north of the campus are the halls of residence. In other words, the accommodation for students on campus. We have Hall A, Hall B, and Hall C. Finally, there's the Students' Union, the SU. That's the special place for you. There are lots of facilities for you there in the SU. Go and have a look. OK, as Mr. Beach said, I'm going to talk to you about the schedule.
Hello, my name is Mills, Tim Mills. I'm sorry I wasn't here earlier in the week. I was feeling really ill. Anyway, I'm fine now, so I want to talk to you for a few minutes about living in the UK. Every culture is different. You are learning a new language. You also need to learn a new culture. International students sometimes have problems because they don't know English very well, but sometimes international students have problems because they don't know British customs. For example, when do you shake hands with someone? Today I'm going to talk about 6 things which international students sometimes get wrong. Let's start at the beginning. Greetings. I mean saying hello to someone. When you meet someone for the first time, you can say, "Pleased to meet you," or "How do you do?" Some English people just say hi or hello. All of these are fine. Secondly, be careful when you address people. You can't use a title, I mean Mr., Mrs., Professor, with a first name, like Mr. John or Mrs. Mary or Professor Michael. You must use the surname with a title. Mr. Williams, Mrs. Pierce, Professor Jones. By the way, you call most lecturers at a British university Mr. or Mrs. or Miss. We only use doctor if he or she has a PhD. Oh, and professor. In Britain, a professor is usually the head of department or faculty. Do not call all lecturers professor. Handshakes, shaking hands. We do shake hands a lot in Britain, but not with colleagues. That is, people we work with or study with. So don't offer to shake hands with the other students every time you meet them. What about eye contact? I mean, looking at people. Perhaps in your country, it is polite to look down when you are talking to an older person or a person of the opposite sex. But not in Britain. Look people in the eye. Your lecturers, the professor, even the vice-chancellor. They will not think you are disrespectful. The next thing is social distance. In other words, how close you should stand to people. In Britain, we stand about 60 centimetres away from colleagues. That's about arm's length. Next, gender equality. Gender means sex, male or female. So gender equality is the way we think about men and women in Britain. Basically, men and women are equal. You may have male lecturers or female lecturers or a combination, but they are all equal. Same pay, same level in the university. Finally, participation, which means taking part in something. Lecturers sometimes ask questions during a lecture and they expect you to answer. They sometimes ask for questions at the end of a lecture. It is good to ask questions if you are not sure about something. And of course, lecturers expect active participation in a tutorial.